Hi, I'm Ron Wexler with the Wexler Group at Keller Williams Real Estate, and today we're going to talk about, is this the best time to sell your home? Well, of course, we all got to live through the fun of the COVID market, where we would list a home and 87 people would show up and 40 of them would write an offer, which wasn't what we expected in the middle of a pandemic, but it's what we lived through. The market has obviously changed, and the market that we're in today is actually very interesting, even different than 5 or 6 months ago, because the sellers have still believed and are still pushing the prices up, knowing that their house should be worth more than the guy who sold 2 months ago or 3 months ago. And the buyers feel like we've peaked and maybe we've hit the top and they don't really want to spend more money. So what we're seeing in most pockets of our market is that the prices are holding steady. We're seeing a lot more price reductions because, we're on the seller's side. We want to push the prices up when we can. And at the same time, we have to be realistic and help our sellers price their homes correctly so we get top dollar and we don't price ourselves right out of the market where we just don't sell. We had a house that we listed 45 days ago, and when we list a house, we have a full marketing blitz that we literally take what used to be our 6-month budget and we spend it before the house even goes in the MLS. So we make sure that this house has maximum exposure before anybody knows about it. So we put this house on the market. We had only a dribbling of showings. We had minimal people show up to the open house. And the seller's very set on getting it sold right now. They don't want to wait 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And after we've gone through everything else, we came back to it's the price. That's the market we're in right now. We got a little, I don't want to say greedy, but we got a little too extensive in our pricing and had to get back to reality. And we literally lowered the price on Wednesday, and then we had 2 offers by Saturday. So when you price it right, the buyer's out there ready for your home. When you overprice, it doesn't matter. I could hire the UCLA marching band and have them go past the house every Saturday, and we still won't get it sold. So it's a fine line that we walk because we want to get top dollar for our clients, and we don't want to price to where the buyers have no interest in the property at all. It's really interesting. I actually teach a class for agents on how to survive in the winter because the market slows down. When you want to sell in the winter months, especially January, February, and the beginning of March, you are at such an advantage over the rest of the year in the market. And you know what I always share with sellers? People don't want to move in the winter just because of the thought of moving into winter. Well, the truth is you're loading a truck and driving a truck somewhere and unloading a truck. Everything else doesn't really matter. The weather has no effect whatsoever on the rest of the process. So the truth is, if there is less competition and less buyers, but the buyers out there are more motivated and more willing to maybe accept a few little flaws because they don't have 2 or 3 or 4 other choices, transactions in the winter tend to go much better than the transactions in the middle of summer, where a buyer might decide to back out of a transaction over some little repair because they have 3 other choices that they can make. So honestly, I love the winter months. I think it's the best time to sell. Another reason the winter is a great time to sell is all the vendors that we work with are less busy. So when you call a moving company, they're not booked out 4 months in advance. When you call an inspector, he can be there sometimes the same day, but usually within 24 to 48 hours, the inspectors are ready to go. When we reach out to the title company or the attorney or the surveyor, any of those folks that we go looking for, the lenders, they're not as busy, and so you're going to get much better service. Not that it's ever bad service, but they're more attentive to the clients when they have less clients to work with. So honestly, winter's a great time to sell. What's always been very interesting to me? People think there's a national real estate market. And there's no more a national real estate market than there is a national weather forecast. It really doesn't matter what's happening in California right now, or Cancun, or Miami, or New York. You're in Chicago, you need to know Chicago's weather. Real estate's exactly the same way. And really, it's a micro market. Not only do you need to know what's going on in Chicago with prices and the market and buyers and price reductions and days on market and all of that, you need to know right in your neighborhood, right down to the very neighborhood you're in, not even just your town, but it might be your subdivision. You need to know exactly what's going on. Of course, that's what a great realtor brings to the table, is letting you know exactly what's happening right here. So it's nice to know what the weather is in Miami right now, but truthfully, it has nothing to do with you getting top dollar on your house today, here and now. You know what I think is most interesting is people ask, when is the best time to sell? And the honest answer, if we gave the honest answer, is as soon as you're ready. This market right now is a great time to get top dollar for your home. If it absolutely doesn't work for your life circumstances, then whenever you're ready, we'll be there for you and help you make that move then. If you have the option of selling your home right now in the first quarter of 2026, this is an incredible time to get top dollar, to get great service, and to have it go really well, to get motivated buyers to work with, and just to have a really smooth transaction. So I think if you're thinking about selling and you can make it work right now, then I think this is a great time to get the job done. So the easiest way to catch up with our team is just to call our hotline, 708-629-5151, or email ron@thewexlergroup.com. We are very good at communication. We will be there for you when you need us, not just when we start working together, but through the entire process.